and welcome to Sestra-Tainment. I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to everything
Yes,
entertainment.
we are.
Yes. So, sis, you're up first this week. What you got?
Okay, so what I have is actually a sad story.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and start this off. I apologize for making it sad, but I just realized that I have everything pulled up, so I want to do it now. It's a sad story. It's a 35-year-old mother of four gets shot at her neighbor's house. They shoot through the door and take her life in front of her 9-year-old son. So her mother actually went to The View and was talking about like the whole situation and everything that happened. And there's a lot of things about the stand your ground law. So I just want to play this little clip right quick so then y'all can hear exactly what all was said.
Okay.
A.J. Owens, a black Florida mom of four, was shot and killed through a door by her white neighbor after a dispute with kids. A.J.'s mom, Pamela Diaz, and attorney Anthony Thomas are here with us. First of all, there are no words. There are no words. We are beyond broken over your loss. We start with that. How are the grandkids? And what can you tell us about what happened that day?
On Friday, June 2nd, the kids were outside playing in an open field, a privately owned open field, as kids do. My 9-year-old grandson forgot his tablet. He went back to retrieve it, and Susan Lawrence was there to harass him. She called him racial slurs, said, "This is not the Underground Railroad, you slaves." She threw a skate at him, broke his tablet. So he did what any normal kid would do, and he went home and told his mother. My daughter Ashika and my 9-year-old grandson went across the street to ask questions. She was met with a bullet through a locked metal door.
So that is a very deep story. So I looked at the Daily Mail, and what they had said was that it looks like there's not going to be any charges pressed that they don't think because of the stand your ground law. And come to find out that when they were talking to when the detectives were talking to her, she kept stating she kept saying stuff in like a manner of somebody who is researched it, like using words that only people like in the law enforcement or whatever like use. And they were like, "You know a lot about this." And she said, "Yeah, I've researched it before she came." So it's not like premeditated though.
It sounds like it would be.
Yeah,
You're talking about the lady who was shooting.
Yeah, the lady
who
who was
shot
shooting
through the door.
Yeah.
Researched what does it mean to stand your ground.
Stand your ground. Yeah, but I guess it's like everything that you can do for standing your ground law. So basically,
she knew she could kill anybody.
Yeah,
she wasn't going to be.
Yeah,
she was
because as long as
like,
she says that she felt threatened,
So it's almost like, let me aggravate somebody enough to have them come on my property
just
so
I
that I can do
life.
this.
It's
just so I can try it out.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Wow.
It's horrible. So it was some more information about that that is on The View if you want to catch that episode. But her grandmother, the grandmother was also saying that what ended up happening is once she got shot and her son kind of froze and just watched his mom like bleed out, and then like the 12 or 14-year-old comes over and he's like trying to call 911, and then the oldest one is like, "I don't know what to do, like I'm so like I don't know what to do." So they're freaking out and they're standing still at the house,
which she could just start shooting out the door.
And she could start shooting them, and it's just like, this is ridiculous that people are even having this. Why is this? There's so many people that are just shooting people, like for no reason. Just like, hey, you're on my doorstep and you're not supposed to be here. Like it was a young little kid who went up to the older man's house. It was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I had the wrong house," and the man shot him. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, but they were saying that that her kids are now in trauma therapy and everything, stuff like that. So they can go ahead and get help. And they were trying to put they're trying to get all the children into, you know, some kind of trauma therapy for them seeing their their mother like bleed out. I mean, she did not die on the scene. She did die in the hospital, but still, that's so traumatic for you. These are babies. These are kids. There was like 9 to 15 or something.
It's just so sad. And then this woman has to be neighbors with somebody.
Yeah, across the street.
Across the street,
yeah.
right. But I'm saying, this was a family member or friend or somebody that knew me that went over there, because that wasn't the house of the lady who got shot.
So okay.
Whose house was it that she got shot?
So what happened was the kids were, I guess it's like the neighborhood. It's their house, across the street is another house, and it's an empty lot. The lady owns the empty lot, but the kids go over there and play. So she comes yelling out at them.
Get out of my life.
Yeah, and starts calling them names. They go to leave. One little boy, the 9-year-old,
just
gets
went
his
back
tablet.
To his tablet. That was it. Yeah.
Ran back to get it. She starts yelling and screaming at him. Tells him to go get his mom. He's like, I'm going to get my mom. And then by the time they come back and she's at the door, like, I don't even think that they got a chance to knock on the door. Actually, I don't know. But yeah, shot right through the door.
And no charges will happen because
probably not, because of the stand the ground. Yeah, and if she, if she uses the words correctly, I guess it just works out for her. But it's just crazy. It's just nuts.
It is. Yeah. Terrible.
And, so this did happen on June the 2nd. They recently had her funeral, I believe, and everything. So it's sad, but I mean,
it's like
it's the reality of our world.
It's the reality of you. It's almost like now you have to be so cautious of what frustrates and upsets you.
Yeah.
You know, as a person.
Yeah, no.
Because now it's like, in the past I could have gone and knocked on somebody's door.
Yeah, but now you can't.
Now it's like, baby, just come on.
Let's go ahead.
Let's just let it go.
Inside.
It's not worth any of our lives. You know what I mean?
If I see her outside, then I'll go ahead and say something to her. But we can't even go to somebody's house.
Exactly. Because I mean, then it depends on, is she outside on her property or outside on somebody else's, or outside at the grocery store. You know what I mean? You can't stand your ground at the grocery store. But the whole law just seems like it's flawed, especially when people can research it and then
how old
do
is
what they
this
want
law?
to do.
I wonder how old this law is, because if this is like an old law from like
it's not old. It's
from like the gold mining times. Then they need to do away with that.
If I'm remembering correctly, it's less than 20 years. I'm sure it might even be less than 10, but I don't think that it's a long term.
Was this what this happened after Zimmerman, right? Is that the stand your ground with
Zimmerman? I remember there was already some kind of law in regards to doing that, which, you know, when you think about it, that wasn't even his property, quote unquote. So it makes you wonder if it's like, if anybody approaches you for any reason in which you feel threatened, even if you're at the grocery store or at a gas station or at whatever, then you can. But anybody can
just go around saying that they're threatened. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. It's like you gotta pick your battles. If people just live by the golden rule, this world would be so much better.
As though you would have them to do unto you.
It would it would be such a nice place to live.
Yeah. Exactly.
But, you know,
it's not.
C'est la vie.
And this is America.
Yeah, this is America.
You know what I mean? It's not every country.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the America that we currently live in, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is very true.
So,
I don't know. All right, so I just want to talk about that so we can get the downer stuff out of the way. So now we can go ahead and go pop up that hill and do some lighthearted stuff, some fun stuff.
I don't know if this will be lighthearted or fun.
Okay, well, never mind. Forget I said anything.
No. I do have something lighthearted and funny a little bit later, but no.
Yeah, let's end it on a high note.
Okay,
I like
there
this.
you go.
Let's end it on a high note.
So, there is a beef going on right now.
Okay.
In the R&B world. It is a beef that I would have never predicted in a million years.
I feel like I might have heard something about this. Okay.
Anita Baker and Babyface.
Wait, what?
How have you not heard about Anita Baker?
I didn't hear that. I did not hear that.
Oh my gosh, it's a beef. So the grown and sexy people of America are choosing sides as we speak.
Okay.
So people gonna be either Team Babyface or Team Anita Baker. And here's the situation. So
I love Anita Baker, so I might have to just be Team Anita Baker. Even if she's in the wrong, I might be like, hey, look, I'm sorry, Babyface. Like, you're going to have to take your guitar on somewhere else. Sir.
Let me preface by saying I have seen both in concert. I actually went to Vegas to see an Anita Baker concert last year.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, I love them both. I've seen Babyface. he has hit after hit after hit. He
writes songs,
for everybody, and he can actually perform everything. He can perform Bobby Brown's whole album of My Prerogative and everything else if he wants
because
to.
He wrote it.
Because he and L.A. Reid wrote it.
Yeah, exactly.
So therefore it's like that. Was it Janet? No, not Janet Jackson. It was somebody else. Some of the Toni
anybody
Braxton
who was on
songs,
LaFace records.
Anybody who was on LaFace. Right, exactly. And even some of the stuff of TLC. Like it's everybody.
Everybody,
it's New Edition. It's so many hits that he can sing. And then Anita Baker has her own, and I think some of her songs actually Babyface helped to write too. So therefore, she decides to go on a tour, and Babyface agreed to be the opening act for her tour, which is great. So you get two for the price of one.
Yeah,
that
sounds
two
awesome.
legends. It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
So about 2 weeks ago or so,
Lord.
What ends up happening is there were some kind of technical challenges with the sound system, and it took a really long time for that to get corrected. Some people said Anita Baker was just really late to getting to this particular performance, so that slowed it down. But what I've been hearing is more about technical sound system issues. So therefore, once it was corrected, it was cutting into Babyface's time to be on the stage. Okay. So therefore, Anita Baker's camp told Babyface's camp he was no longer going to be the opening act for her that night, that she was going to be the only one to perform. And so, thanks, but no thanks. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and perform. And so the host or promoter of the event goes out on stage, tells everybody, hey, I'm so sorry because of all these technical issues. We aren't going to hear from Babyface tonight. It's only going to be Anita Baker. And the crowd erupts in boos.
What?
They were upset because
they want, you paid to see two people. That's very true.
And so they were talking about how they were going to refund them part of their money and all of that kind of thing. And, it was going to be still a great show, with Anita, but people were not happy, right? And so people on social media started basically feeling like Anita Baker was being a diva. Like, come on now, you could have at least given him 4, 5, 7 songs then you come on, or let everybody know, hey, in order for you to hear us both, this show is going to go much
shorter,
later, or it could be going much later than what we initially anticipated.
But now, that's a lot of money. The venue,
I was going to say, may not have allowed for that to happen, granted, or just say it's going to be a shorter show, but we still can do this, everybody. So what ends up happening is that Babyface's fans started to go on Anita Baker's page and this was inappropriate. You're wrong. You're a terrible person. I can't believe that you're doing all of this, yada, yada. So then Anita Baker fires back.
I know that's right.
At all the people.
She looked like she don't take no
who are on there. Now, mind you, I would say that Babyface hadn't said a thing. He was just like, okay, I'm not saying,
whatever.
Whatever.
He's like, this is beneath me. I don't really care.
I'm not even going to get involved, right? And so, but Anita is vicious.
Oh, she's heated. Fish grease ain't got nothing on her, huh?
She just goes on and on and on and on with all the people, the back and forths, she's saying things that I was just like, but is that actually right?
Anita, is it? You think it's actually Anita Baker? Or do you think it's somebody else in her camp that's actually doing all of this? It could be one of her kids being like, what what they said, Mama? Hold on, let me get fixed.
I think it might be her. She said, after silently enduring cyberbullying, verbal abuse, and threats of violence from my fan base, our special guest and support acts fan base, in the interest of personal safety, I will continue the songstress tour alone. Appropriate refunds will be made. Blessings. So she now has said, okay, after this one event in which Babyface wasn't able to perform, now because your fans have gone off the chain and out of control,
then I can't do this. And I agree with that.
These things with you. So therefore, you're just off the entire tour. So then she comes back and says, dear friends and fans, on my timeline, for those who are being harassed by people who are supporting me, Babyface's fans, block them, report them. Do not engage on my behalf, XOXO Anita Baker kind of scenario. Then she says, let's see here. Hold on. It was something that she had said.
But I feel like there should not be an issue with what she's doing because regardless, they have a contract. So if she says like you're off the tour, I'm pretty sure in the contract she's still going to pay him.
She's still probably
she's still going to pay him and everything. So it's not like she gypped him. She just was like, all right, your people are like being horrible human beings and cyberbullying not only me but my fans.
Right, exactly. And so then she says, the thing that got to me was interesting because she said something to the effect of like me having him off the tour doesn't diminish Babyface. She did say it was contracted. So she says that. She says as he was contracted as my special guest and support act to help expose him to my fan base. No, to my arena-sized fan base. It's to help him buy to Kenny's creepy crazies. That's what Anita said.
But to Kenny's creepy crazy.
Yeah, because I guess she's saying that Kenny Edmonds, who is Babyface's name, has creepy crazy people who are, like harassing her. Yeah. But she was like, I guess, I don't know. To me, she said, I fought, I won, and that's what Case 2. So I guess she had an issue with Case. Also, the singer? I don't know. That was 20 years ago. And now I am more successful than ever. And then, so she's just like, she's doing the most.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing the most, but I mean,
I get what she's saying about
it's warranted.
Not wanting her fan base to be whatever. But my whole thing is, okay, as a fan of both, Babyface will fill out every arena before Anita would. Yeah, so to me, for her to say, like, nobody was even talking about Anita. Like, she had retired. She wasn't doing anything. Yeah, she retired whatever. For a while, and then she came back around. To me, her coming back, yes, that's great. And I think that that's wonderful. When we went to see her in Vegas, I think it was sold out. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a meeting. I mean, it wasn't an arena. This was just like, we were probably, we didn't even spend, maybe an auditorium size, like, we didn't even spend.
Or like a theater size. Let's say it's theater size, where it's like a little bit bigger than an auditorium.
So it was a theater. It wasn't a theater, actually. Mm-hmm. But we were probably 10 rows from the front, and Chase the Rapper was like 5 rows in front of us or something awesome. Like that. Yeah. So it wasn't like it was this huge. And the reason he was there is because he was helping her or had helped her to get her catalog of records back.
Oh, okay. That's
awesome. So kind of like how Taylor Swift had that scenario where somebody, pretty much had her whole catalog and she couldn't sing her own music anymore because of the fact, she had to re-record all of her old songs because that guy, Skeeter, or whatever his name was, I can't think of what his name was, but anyway, Skip, Skeeter, some bronze, something, anyway. He ended up owning her catalog, so she remade all her songs on a new
she had
thing
to change
so that
the
she
beats
could
and everything. No,
she could just re-sing it and then re-release it separately.
Okay,
and then that could be her new catalog of music. That
I didn't even know that you could do that.
It's a thing. So Chase the Rapper knew that somebody else owned her. Chance. I'm sorry, but what happens is people will sell their catalog, kind of like the Beatles. They sold their catalog. Because they need the money.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So therefore, I'm sure she sold it because she needed the money.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, now I can't even perform some of it because I've sold this part of my catalog. But that's what the fans come to want to see.
I know. So then that way she can't make money.
Exactly. So Chance helped her to get her catalog back. So while he was in the crowd, she thanked him.
Yeah, I did see that.
Doing that. And so, but it is one of those scenarios where, yes, Anita, you are amazing and you have hits and all of those kind of things. But at the same time, I think Babyface does have a much larger following.
I believe that,
of people.
Yeah. Because, do you feel like that they were out at the same time? Or was he more?
No, probably. Like when he was singing with Surface. With the group and everything. Yeah, I only think of you on 2 occasions. Yeah. That probably was around the Anita Baker time.
Okay, so but he wasn't solo then.
No, I don't think he was solo until the 90s because I remember having.
So that's why I feel like they're two. It's like two different. I feel like it's 2 different generations of music.
I'm not sure. It was late 80s, early 90s because I remember my freshman year at VCU, I feel like I was playing his music. Okay. I don't know why. Like my freshman year, I feel like I was playing maybe his first.
But was Anita album. Baker like singing it, or she was already done singing?
No, she was still singing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, but that's the beef. The R&B beef is Anita Baker and Babyface. And Babyface the only statement that Babyface has made that I recall was something to the effects of. I appreciate. I am sorry to see what social media is doing in regards to this situation. I always will respect and support Anita in any way in which blah blah blah. Like he was just very And I think he might have said something like, "Please don't feel like you need to continue to speak on my behalf," or something to that effect. But
so he's just basically telling people, "Man, y'all leave Anita Baker alone."
Yeah, but Anita probably has a good 30 Twitter posts that are solely about this.
She's trying to get it out. You know what I'm saying?
And then exactly. Yeah, she definitely is. I will say this: when I did see Anita, there were sound problems then.
Okay.
So maybe there's always sound problems. Maybe. I don't know. She would stop a song. She would tell him to get correct.
I know that's right. Okay, James Brown.
She would fuss at her music people and then be like, "All right, let's try this again," and then try to get into the song again. So for me, as a fan who couldn't hear the things she was hearing in the back, like there were a few things that you could hear, and there was like a hum or something, and you were just like, "Okay, yeah, I hear that one." There were other things that she heard that I couldn't hear, and I was like, "I just would have rather you just sung the song." Like, you know what I mean?
But that's the thing. It's like people. It's the perfectionist. Like if this is me. This is all of this is about me. Like this comes from me. Mm-hmm. So if they are not singing, like if they're not playing, and I'm singing my heart out, no, you sound flat. Y'all got to start over again.
It wasn't even that. Because it was the equipment. It was I can't hear the treble. I can't hear the da-da-da. Like, where's the reverb or whatever. Like, it was those kind of terms that she was using. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's the thing. It's like, but I'm paying you guys for this. Mm-hmm. Do your job.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what that is. I get that. I get that. Yeah, do your job. But anyway. I thought it was going to be like a beef like Monique had with D.L. Hughley.
No. I mean, this is a beef. It almost feels like a one-sided beef because she seems to have the beef and Babyface is like, look, I'm making my millions.
I don't know if she's even having the beef with Babyface or
no, she's having the beef with his people. But the thing is that I think it was a little petty for her to just be like, yeah, you ain't even performing because they're here to see me. Therefore, goodbye. Like, thanks for getting dressed.
She did say so. It was her. It's her tour, and he's the special guest, so she can do what she wants, right?
She could. But my whole thing is that's the
people
difference.
Are paying for the two.
And like I said, to me, if it's equipment issues that are going on that's creating the problem or the issue, I would have rather have said, hey, everybody, because of the delay with these equipment issues, and we still have to get out of the venue at the same time, what we're going to do is actually have it where, the groups are just going to be able to perform a few less songs. But both will still be able to perform so that you you would still have to give people somewhat of a refund.
Yeah, but then also you got to think about it this way. When they are practicing, they are going in order of certain songs. So it's like they've always practiced these songs in this way. That. So if you mess that up, somebody might start playing another song. You're like, wait, nope, hold on, wait, no.
Y'all, look, all you gotta do is get somebody a piece of paper with, okay, we taking out this one and this one because these two ain't our most popular ones, and then go from there.
Yeah, but that's
or these so crazy. Or whatever. But I just feel like it was. I can't.
Is this the first like R&B beef? No, I don't think it is. I feel like Aretha Franklin got into a lot of beef with a lot of people. I feel like she was probably like beating people up for her money or something.
I don't know. I just know that, I think a few people in that genre of Aretha and Patty and,
Gladys Knight,
I feel Khan, like some of those ladies just all didn't, Dionne Warwick, all that.
They didn't all get along.
Yeah, I don't think they all got along. But I don't think it was a big, huge beef. Like, I think it was a private beef. Because now social media makes everything public. But
Stephanie Mills was talking about that. She was like, some of these women are amazing. They're great. They are my friends. Those are my sisters. She said, but then some of these, and she starts cussing, and she's like, but some of these, No, they're divas, and then
Yeah, so. Exactly. And I think some people just, they're threatened. Like it's based on your own self-esteem as to how you treat others.
That's true.
So therefore, it's like if I feel like, and I remember Gabrielle Union and Jada Pinkett Smith had a beef. They didn't like each other.
What?
Yeah, that was on Red Table Talk. So anyway,
I don't watch that.
And they were like, well, I thought this and I thought that, and then I didn't get this role, but you got this role. So it's kind of one of those things that, if you feel like somebody's your competition in a competitive, negative world that you live in of being an actor or a singer or whatever, and it's like, well, I didn't get the job, but you got the job, then that can create just, But in a way, it's almost like how Kerry Washington said in a video, it's like, if I don't get it, then maybe that's God's divine protection saving me from getting something that I wasn't going to do right in the first place.
If you're insecure, you're not thinking
exactly.
that way. You're thinking about, I need this, I want this.
Or I need to pay my bill next month, so I really need this right now. True. What am I going to do? So you put that extra stress and pressure on somebody who has nothing to do with it because they just happen to get that part. And I always am of the mindset of what's for you is for you, and what's not is not. So either it's yours before you go in there to audition, or it's not. And therefore, if you go in, you audition horribly, and you still get the job, that had nothing to do with you. But if you go in and audition amazingly, why do you think that has everything to do with you?
Exactly. That's
true. So, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. But anyway, so that's the beef.
So like the R&B beef.
The R&B beef between
Babyface
and Anita Baker.
That is just so funny. I mean, I'm just saying.
That's why I said the grown and sexy got a team to choose. I'm a B team Babyface all day. I love Anita Baker.
Okay, I'm team Anita.
But I'm not. I would rather Babyface's fans. I'm team Babyface of how he himself is handling it, as opposed to how Anita is handling it.
But then also, Babyface doesn't look at his social media because he pays somebody for that. That's what everybody does. Probably. Anita Baker has not been out and like doing stuff until like just here recently, within the last few years.
Yeah.
So she probably doesn't have a whole camp. Like Babyface has had a whole camp since he was with Surface or whatever.
And she needs this tour more than he needs this tour. That's true. So I mean, he's probably like, cool. I ain't got to go nowhere. I ain't got to do nothing, and I'm still making my millions.
Exactly.
Okay, bye. I'm still making royalties off of all these hits that I done made.
Get up there and sing my songs, Anita. Go on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna make money every time you
open your mouth and sing the song that I wrote you.
Yeah, exactly.
Sing the song like I wrote it. Anime.
Oh God. Okay. What you got next, sis?
So my next one is it's on Netflix. It's called The Ultimatum: Queer Love.
Okay.
All right. So what this is, it is 5 couples. So there's 10 women. They're all lesbians, right? And they go and they sign up for. It's always one of them wants to get married, and one of them is just like, we should wait, or we should do this, or I don't even know if I want to get married. It's like that. So it's like we're either going to get married at the end of the show, or we're done.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then what ends up happening is, I think it says like 6 to 8 weeks that you're all hanging out. But after like the first week, they make you break up with your significant other and flirt with everybody else is there.
Yeah, like the version of that was not the lesbian version of that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that was the difference. This is the difference between season 1 and this season. So season 1, you have 6 couples.
Okay.
Right. So you have 6 men, 6 women.
Okay.
But the thing is that once they break up, the men can only be with the women, and the women can only be with the men. So therefore, you only have 5 possibilities.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So with this show, it's 5 couples that are all women.
Right.
So now you have 9 possibilities of who you can be with, because you can't go back to So that changes the whole dynamic of it. Yeah. So but that is something that people were just like, yo, that makes a lot of sense. But so a lot of the characters will get on your nerves.
I heard you call them characters.
Yeah, characters. All right, so you have Vanessa and Xander together.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Wait, is that right? Vanessa and Xander? I can't remember. Anyway, I hold on. Let me go back through this. Okay, you have Vanessa, Xander, Mildred, Aussie, Raylyn, Tiff, Lexi, Sam, Yoli, and Mal. Okay. Mal and Yoli are together. Sam, I Sam and Lexi were together. Aussie and Raylan were together. So I mean, and Xander, Vanessa, and Mildred and Sam. Those are the ones that were together. Okay, so it's just. So who got on my nerves the most was Vanessa, because she was just all over the place. But then she was also like, I'm having fun. She was like, I told you I didn't want to get married.
Okay.
So now if you want to do this, like, you giving me the ultimatum, we're going to break up or else we're going to stay together. Well, I don't want to get married, so I'm just going to have fun.
Oh, okay.
So she was out there like living her best life.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, there was an issue with Yoli and Mal.
Yeah, wait, let me go back. So did Vanessa bother you because of the fact that she was living her best life and not... like caring about the person
she bothered me because of something that she did, that she tried to like play off like it was nothing when it really was a big thing. So,
Okay.
But so with Mal and Yoli, the thing with them two is that Mal feels like Yoli is the one who's just like, whoever she's with, this is the person I'm gonna marry. She's in love with love.
Gotcha.
And Mal was like, that scares me. She was like, because if you already wanted to marry that person, now you want to marry me. Did you want to, like, if we don't work out, you're going to want to marry that person too? Is that what it is? You just are in love with love. So that kind of makes her nervous. Now, I would tell you this. Ozzy. Maybe it's J-Lo, yeah. And what's her name? Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah. Angelina Jolie. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so Aussie and Raylan, so they're a couple. But the thing is about Aussie, which kept, like, Aussie does not like confrontation with her girlfriend.
Okay.
Like, she'd be like her girlfriend was like, okay, so like, look, let's sit down and let's talk about this. So, what are you thinking about, blah, 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 blah. And Aussie just kept getting up and walking away. She was like, I can't do this right now. So she
have a conversation?
Yeah, so I mean, it's like she's still, I don't know if it's anxiety or what, but she's just like, I have to leave the situation and I'll come back. Mm-hmm. She's like, but I just had to leave. But she never has the conversation. Mm-hmm. So people have called her out about that, and it's like, but bruh, like, you got to realize that this is the woman who, like, y'all are supposed to be getting married. So why, if you can't talk to her, then you can't marry her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's supposed to be like your best friend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your helpmate. Now, Mildred and Sam. Mildred and Sam were, they were okay, but the only thing is, I could see their relationship, like, totally, they're comfortable. I think that's what it is.
Gotcha.
They're just comfortable. Mm-hmm. They fight and argue and everything every day. You will see them, they'll be like kissing on each other, and then next thing you know, it is like fighting, like they're arguing with each other. Yeah, I'm like,
smallest thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, what is even happening? Y'all, like, this is toxic. Y'all need to break up. Completely break up. Like, so that's what I see with that. Now, Xander and Vanessa. Xander is a sweetheart. Xander wants to be loved. Xander is head over heels in love with Vanessa. Vanessa's like, yeah, I love you too. Ish. I don't know if it's ish, but it's like, I love you, but they've been together since like high school or something like that. So they went to high school together, and then they were like flirting back and forth. And then once they got older, that's when they started to date. So they've just always been with just them two.
Gotcha.
So they've never actually been with any other woman. So so Xander's in love, and Vanessa's like, but what else is out there? What else is outside? I want to know. But all in all, it is a train wreck. Nina, you will love this.
Oh boy.
You will definitely love this. But I think that you should look into it. It definitely has you looking at the TV and being like, you stupid idiot. Like, what are you thinking? Why did you even just do that? So it definitely has you being like, yo, wake up. Are you not paying attention?
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then but another thing that they do on the show is that they will bring their friends or family members in to meet the new person that's going to be the person that they end up dating. Because you remember, you only get a week with your significant other, and then you have to break up and find somebody else. Yeah. So, and then you end up having to live with this person too. You were doing a trial marriage. Yep. Mm-hmm. Which I'm like, this show is the worst idea ever. And why do people sign up for this? Is it just because you want to be on TV? I think that's what it is.
You think so?
You want to be popular. I think that's what it is. But because, I mean, nobody, I don't know who would be like, I want everyone to see my intimate details of my relationship the entire world.
Yeah, I think that you already have to have problems in your relationship for you to go on a show like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because if you don't,
I feel like if you make the ultimatum, you have issues. You should never be like, look, it's me or like nothing at all. Mm-hmm. You like if you have that like we're getting married right now. And then they're like, well, I don't want to get married right now. Then that's a conversation you don't have to have. Not, oh, no, we're getting married.
And or we're going on this TV show. Yeah, we're going on TV show. So that I can date somebody else and you can date somebody else.
Like, come on. Yeah. Like, and then because they did make it a lesbian show, it was funny how you could see how like all of them interact with each other. One couple, they're like best friends. Like they ended up being best friends. She was like, oh my God, like she was like, no, I really like hang out with you and stuff like that. She was like, I really like you. Got to meet like the girl's parents and everything. So they were all like good and fun. And then she's like, man, we have to definitely keep in touch because I feel like we're soulmates. She was like, but not like marriage soulmates. And you see the girl Mal's face like, yeah, something like that. But later on, she does say, yes, I do want us to have this friendship and stuff like that. Like, keep it forever. But I don't want to be with you.
Gotcha. Type thing. And they came together. Or that's the person that she met there. It was like, here's the cool person. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, I don't know. They get their people to come over. Their friends come over. And some of them is like, these people have been couples for like 5, 6, 7 years. Oh, gotcha. So, like, one girl comes with her, like, I think it's her brother that comes. And he's just like, okay, well, this is weird because I'm used to you and her sitting here. And now it's you and some other random stranger that I don't know. And y'all live together. And you think this is a great idea.
Yeah, this is crazy.
And now we're on television.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just... It's a train wreck.
So do some people break up officially, and some people do they leave with the person that they met there? Some people get married.
Some people break up. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Some people do both. Some people are drawn between two people and they can't make up their mind, but then people end up making up their mind for you, and then you'll be disappointed.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I feel like the last time it wasn't that you had to get married right there on the spot, but you had to leave there engaged.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, engagement. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so somebody had to propose, and then that person either had to accept the proposal or turn
be
it down.
Like, nah, like I like this person over here.
Or I don't like anybody here, and I realize I don't really want to be with you.
I want to be with you. Yeah. I don't want to be none of these.
Yeah, exactly.
Either. Like, So so check that out. The Ultimatum Queer Love on Netflix. All right, what's your next one, Miam?
I have on Hulu the Jagged Mind. It's a new show that just came out recently. It's a movie, actually. Okay. And so it involves people that you don't know. Macy Richardson Sellers as Billy. Shannon Woodward as Alex. Rosalie Ebay as Christine. And Kate Sneskusky, I don't know how you say that, as Kim. So it's an interesting show. So for the most part, it is a movie that you can choose to watch or not. I'll just put it that way. But it's about a girl who, starts off, she's sitting at a bar basically in the very beginning of it, so to speak, and a lady offers to buy her a drink. So she accepts the drink, and the girl comes over and starts talking to her. And, after a while, the girl gets this text or a reminder that tells her she has to go to this art exhibit, right? Okay. So she goes to this art exhibit, and I guess her ex-girlfriend is the one who is hosting this art exhibit. Okay. So she goes and acts like she's been there the whole time, and the girlfriend's like, girl, I just saw you walk in. I know you just got the last, couple minutes of this, exhibit, right? Mm-hmm. So as she's at the exhibit, she sees this picture. She's really drawn to it. She can't really understand or figure out why. And so therefore she hangs out with her ex for a little while. And her ex is trying to make moves on her. And she's like, I thought we said we were going to not do this, yada, yada. Uh-huh. And all of a sudden, at some point, she almost starts to pass out. They do start making out. And then she her nose starts bleeding and she gets lightheaded and she's starts to pass out. When she goes through this thing that looks like she's remembering all this stuff, it's remembering the picture, remembering seeing the woman at the bar, remembering seeing this, remembering this. So it's
her life flashing before her eyes.
It gets a weird, maybe I guess.
Just clips of things that are happening.
That you saw, for example, a guy in a wheelchair, like sitting outside of a shop when she went to go for a run, like, you know, just on, you know, earlier in the show. And then that guy is in a whole different spot in one of her memories. And you're just like, well, yeah, he was sitting outside in a wheelchair before, but how is he inside at a shop in a memory kind of thing? So you're seeing all these things happen. And so then all of a sudden she blacks out. And when she wakes up, she's back in the bar with a waiter bringing back over the drink. And he's telling her, hey, this woman over at the bar has bought you this drink. And then she invites the girl over and they talk again. And she's like, you just seem so familiar to me. I don't know why. So she's like...
It's like Groundhog's Day?
It's like Groundhog's Day to a degree. And so she ends up, you know, having another instance. And then they go through it. And then she ends up feeling like she's going to faint again. Right back at the bar again. Talking to the girl again. This time they're sitting at the bar, as opposed to her sitting in a chair. And she's just like, okay, yeah, you know, interesting. So then what happens is this time she ends up inviting the girl to go with her to the art exhibit.
Yeah, to the exhibit.
Instead of leaving the girl there. And so the girl is like, oh, I didn't anticipate that you would ask me to do that, but yeah, sure, I'll go with you, you know, no problem. So then she goes to the art exhibit with her. They're walking around and stuff. And basically, you know, I think she had told her that my ex is the one who created, you know, the exhibits and stuff like that. But the time that she brings the girl, the ex-girlfriend isn't there. People walk up like, hey, where's such and such? And she was like, oh, I don't know. I mean, we don't date anymore. And they were like, oh, because she was supposed to have been here. Now the work that she was supposed to do to host this is on me. And she should be here and yada, yada, yada. And there's like this big, you know, whatever. And so then she's still drawn to that picture that's on the wall and, you know, everything. And the artist for that picture, she isn't the girlfriend. This is a different lady. And so her and that different lady talk to each other. And that lady is like, is anything going on with you? Like, are you okay? Because the girl goes up and is like, hey, I'm Alex or whatever her name was. And she was like, oh, Rose, you know, I'm Alex and I really like your work. And she's like, Rose is talking to her like, are you okay? Is everything all right with you? You might not be able to trust the person. Her name was Billy. Alex is the girlfriend. The one that she keeps meeting in the bar. And so the lady's like, Rose says, you can't trust Alex. Like, yeah, you need to get away. And she was like, wait, how do you know Alex?
Yeah, like, what's going on?
And then she starts to black out again. Then she's back in the bar again. So it's like this whole weird Groundhog's Day thing is going on. Like, and so basically... But it's
also like Russian doll too.
Yeah, like Russian doll. Yeah, exactly. And so what ends up happening is that one of the times that she goes through and does something slightly different in her history, like inviting that girl to the art exhibit,
everything changes. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's a new scenario that she's going through and new reminders. So basically there is, I don't want to give anything away because it is an interesting thing to watch, but it just feels like at the end it doesn't produce...
it kind of sizzles out.
I don't know. It's one of those things you can figure out after you watch it for a little while.
Okay, I got you.
But at the same time, it's like the things this girl has gone through in this repetitive scenario.
So wait, does she remember every time she comes back too?
She remembers nothing. She has like a little hint of something.
Okay, so she can. So everybody's like things are familiar, but she doesn't remember because every time she blacks out.
It's almost like a deja vu scenario where that feels like something weird has happened to me, but or this feels somewhat familiar, but it doesn't feel familiar because I know I haven't lived this experience before. And so, so then Alex always shows up in them. Rose always shows up in them. Her girlfriend doesn't always show up in them. So that's the difference is like, well, the ex-girlfriend. So it's one of those things that it's like, okay, is there somebody who is doing something to control this situation? Why does this guy who's like, in a wheelchair or whatever, and I keep saying a wheelchair. Maybe he's just always sitting down. But anyway, so it's just this guy.
Why is he significant?
Significant and possibly showing up all the time. And then there's just this weird underlying feeling that you're just like, okay, like if this were to happen to me, I would almost feel like I'm living my life over and over and over and over again. And why is that the case? And what is going on? And then to know that there are potential powers that be that are guiding you in certain directions that you just don't feel like, and that's why I think it's called the Jagged Mind. Like you don't even feel like you have control over your mind anymore.
So is it like so the person who walked up to her and was like, you don't need to be around such and such?
Yeah.
So is that like one of the people that are like telling them stuff, like leading them on or something like that, or giving them insight of what's happening or something, or no?
They're trying to give them insight to help them to understand what's going on.
Okay. But
you don't know initially if their insight is good or bad.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to give me some insight of what's happening.
But I don't know if you're positive for me or negative.
A trustworthy person for me to talk to. Because again, every time she sees that person, she doesn't know who that person is. Like, she's thinking she's introducing herself to that person, and that person is like, "Girl, I done seen you 500,000 times."
Yeah, it's so crazy.
You know what I mean? So it's an interesting, story. So the storyline feels like it's kind of laid out for you as you go along. So that's the other part. I kind of wish through the storyline you felt like she felt. That would have made it a much better movie.
Yeah, from like her perspective.
From her perspective, where you're just like, how does this keep happening to her? What is going on? Instead, the way the movie plays it out is that you know what's going on.
Oh, okay.
You're just watching to see how long it's going to take for her to recognize what's going on.
Yeah,
so that's the part that I feel like if we were in the dark as much as she's in the dark about it, then it would be a much better movie. But because probably about 30 minutes into it, you can see what's happening.
Okay.
You might not see it to the same degree. You have some elements of you being in the same boat as her when certain things come out, and you're just like, oh, we didn't see that. And she's learning about it too at the same time, and you're just like, oh, okay. But you knew the control.
Okay.
You know what the control is in advance of her knowing what the control is.
So yeah, that's a lot.
So yeah, it's a lot, but I do feel like it would have been better. But it is a lot of interesting things. It's kind of dark. It's all right. Anyway, it's called The Jagged Mind. If you want to watch it, I feel like I'm explaining it in a much better way that's going to make people intrigued to watch it.
Yeah, of course. But being like, you don't think it's that good? Just watch. I think it sounds good.
I think it's good to watch. I just think again, it would have been better. Like, I would be raving about it had we not known what was going on while it was going on.
Okay.
So that's the rub. Is that you could watch it. And it is one of those things that I do feel like you can't really just like watch it in the background while you're like cleaning the house or anything. You do have to like pay attention to it.
Yeah, I get you.
But at the same time, and it's like
still
an
a mystery.
hour, and
it's a mystery. Still.
Exactly, and it's got some suspenseful moments in there where you're like, "Do it, girl, go."
Okay.
Yeah, you're just like, "Come on, you can do it." So it's some of those kind of moments in there too, maybe one or two, but yeah. So that's it. Jagged Mind, Hulu.
Yep. All right. So for my last one, I have Fubar. Fubar is on Netflix.
Yep.
And it has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. He plays Luke Brunner. He has a daughter named Monica. Well, her real name is Monica Barbaro. Mm-hmm. She plays Emma as his daughter. There's a guy, Milan Carter, who plays Barry, who's like the best friend and the co-worker of Arnold Schwarzenegger. You got Fortune Finster. She's in here. I love her. She goes by Rue. Travis Van Winkle, where I've seen him before, but I don't know where I've seen him before at. He goes by Alden. Arnold's ex-wife is Tally by Fabiana Undillo. I don't know. You have Jay Brockshall as Carter, and you have Barbara Eve Harris as Dot. Now, so just to give you some context of what's going on with this, so Luke is up for retirement from his job. Right? He's excited. I'm ready to retire. Only thing is, he's part of the CIA.
Gotcha.
So when it first comes on, like, there's a deal going on. Like, he's actually being active in the CIA, but he's about to retire. But so what happens is they have this they have another case that they have to work on, and he's like, all right, I'll come back for it just because it's a case from somebody else. So Luke and the person's father, that has the case going on right now, Luke and that person's father, they had a history. Luke killed the father, and then the son, he like tried to like look out for and help raise, because he's like, your father was such a horrible person. I had to do my job and take his life. Yeah. But he never told them. He never told the kid that. So now it's, now this guy is just as bad as his father. And because you know him, you have to go back undercover and go over there I can't remember where we are. But go back over there and figure out exactly what's going on, because we have to take him down because he's trying to do I can't remember if it was nuclear missiles or something. It was something that he was trying to do that was too much. So as this is happening, he's like, okay, fine, I'll go ahead and do it. No problem. I'll take this L. This will be my last mission. I'm retiring. Yeah. And what happens? He shows up to one of the places and realizes that his daughter is now in a ring fighting with some guy. And he's just like, wait, who is... He looks and he's like, man, that little guy is fast in the ring. Yeah. And then the guy who is the protagonist, his name is Gabriel Luna. So he goes by Boro. Antagonist. Why do we keep doing that
every week?
Okay. The antagonist, his real name is Gabriel Luna, but his name on there is Boro. Boro's like, yeah, you see her? He's like, that's not a him, that's a her. And then what happens? She beats up dude, turns around, and you just see Luke, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, just go, wait, what? That's my child.
Yeah, that's my daughter, right?
What is going on? But they have to still play it off because of the fact that you're part of the CIA. Yeah, but now he's like, so now my daughter is part of the CIA, and I never knew that. But you know what's going on with them two? They have a difficult relationship because of the fact that he's lied so much to his wife, which is the mother of his kids, about what he was doing because he was in the CIA. And she and the kids always saw that he was lying all the time. Right. And he was never there for recitals or anything like that. He would just, take pictures and I'll be there, something like that. But they just daughter felt like this was the worst thing ever. That my father is a horrible man. My mother's the sweetest lady. Yeah. She's still in love with you, and you want to treat her like crap. That's how she's feeling. That's how the daughter's feeling. But all reality, the daughter is now the father, because what happens? She's end up dating a dude, and while she's dating this guy, she's like, I have to be on this mission, and if I have to kiss somebody, I have to kiss somebody. Yeah. If I have to sleep with somebody, I have to sleep with somebody. She's like, I have to do all of these things.
So is she being more sympathetic to her father?
No, absolutely not. It's somebody ends up calling her okay, little Luke, and she was like, I am nothing like him. Just you're cheating on your man because of your job. Your dad did that.
Yep, you did this.
Yeah, you're not home with your man. Your dad did that. And she was just like, oh my God, so she
puts it together.
Yeah, she puts it together. But by then, it's the end of the show. Now, so this is the thing with Luke and Tally. So Luke, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then Tally is, I think her name was Gabrielle. I'm sorry, Fabiana. So they are actually... So Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, Luke, has a gym equipment business as his front for the CIA. Okay, he has his wife, now ex-wife, working there, but there's really never anybody who comes in there. He's just like, oh yeah, I had to travel for this. We got this many ellipticals that I'm sending out to Germany and blah 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 blah. And she's just like, oh my God, that's so awesome. But she's just seeing the money come in, but she doesn't realize that the money is coming in from CIA, not from the actual job. So she tries to do this investigation, and she starts calling around, and she, all the numbers of people who have sold stuff, that she has sold the equipment to, she calls them and just be like, hey, can I just, speak to such and such? We want to see how the equipment's working. You know what she's calling? The CIA, because this lady, there's this one lady who just sits at a desk, and then she just answers the phone and has to pretend
every scenario that somebody made up.
But she does that and then hangs up the phone with Tally. And then Tally calls back. She's like, God, this lady. And then she has to change her voice and do a whole different accent and everything. So, yeah, that was that had to be the most stressful job. Yeah. But what I do like about this, the action in here is really good. I just want to let you know that Fortune Femster, she is hilarious in this. Yeah. She has daddy issues. She was like, she looks up to Luke as a father figure. So when the daughter is like ragging on him, like, you're just a piece of crap, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, stop following me. I don't understand why you always want to be around me. And Fortune's character's name is Rue. And she was like, so she said, you have a father that is trying to spend time with you, and you don't want to spend time with him.
Yeah, that's
unlike me. She's like, my father left for a pack of cigarettes, and I haven't seen him since I was 3. So like that. So she was just like, you're ungrateful, and so that some of them tend to butt heads. Now, there's a 21-year-old. Well, there's a guy who, when he was 21 years old, he was like I don't even know what you call that, but like not the head guy, but like the one who tells you like what your mission's gonna be and all this other stuff. Like I guess I don't know. I wrote it down, but I can't remember
what his name would be. The person who does that.
The handler. Let's say the handler. Yeah. So he's like the handler. And so what's so crazy is that he's in the telecoms, like in the ear of everybody. So he's been in the daughter's ear. So he's been in her ear. Mm-hmm. He's been in Emma's ear, he's been in Luke's ear, and then he also has Rue and Alden that he works with, that he's in their ear as well. So now, all at the same time, everybody is finding out that they're father and daughter in real time.
Oh, gotcha.
And like Rue's like, Barry, wait a second. I cannot believe that you held this away from us for like so long, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, look, I couldn't tell him. He was like, because if I was to tell him and he was going into a situation, he might have lost control and he would have blown his cover. So that's why I didn't tell him. And then you hear you hear Emma on the intercom. She was like, thanks, Uncle Barry, for like not telling me. And everybody's like, wait, what? Uncle Barry?
Uncle.
Not even her uncle. It's a black dude. But she's known him since he was 21. Like, he was 21. Like, yeah, and he was 11. So, like, that's just how Barry was always there. He's supposed to be like somebody in the business with Luke for the equipment. So, I mean, it's a lot of things that go on in here. It's complications with the ex-wife and her new man and Luke. And then you have complications with Alden and Emma and the other guy. I can't remember what his name is. I don't know if it was Jay or what. No, Carter. So, like, you have issues. Like, there's so many, like, romantic things, but then it's also it's so funny how
sounds good.
It would be a moment where you're like, oh, this is sentimental, and then something hilarious will happen. You're just like, well, that moment's gone now.
Yep, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's over.
Yeah, but it is cute. I would definitely say to watch it. I think that this might be Arnold Schwarzenegger's really good acting.
Okay.
Because, he's not the best actor.
I'll be back.
Yeah. Him, Steven Seagal, they are not good actors at all. But
they're action stars.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. That's what they are. So it's called Fubar. It is on Netflix. Check it out. I think it's hilarious.
Okay.
All right. What's your last one?
My last one, and I'm going to keep this short, but it's a TV show called Leave It to Geege. Geege. And it's on Lifetime. And it's basically about a mom. I don't know what her original or first name really is. All they call her is Geege. So Geege Taylor, she's an Atlanta single mom. She's been divorced. She's survived breast cancer. She's an advocate for autism because her son Pootie, I don't even know what his real name is. All they call him is Pootie. Okay. That he's 19. He's nonverbal autistic. Okay. And so she's raising him kind of with a village, when you think about it, of people in her neighborhood that are helping her to make sure make sure Pootie has everything that he needs. So he is nonverbal and sensory, though. So he likes sounds. Okay. So he likes swinging of beads, like, so if you have beads hanging down in your house and the swinging back and forth of that, he really likes. He likes the water, so they always will do water play and stuff that outside. His caregiver is Tyler, and Tyler is like a caregiver and roommate, so he actually listens to Tyler sometimes more than he even listens to his own mom. Yeah, I believe that, yeah. And so, Tyler is like, no, Mom, you can't continue to give in to him. Like, you have to, like, let him do certain things in certain ways. Or set parameters and stuff like that. And she's like, but it's my baby, because it's all Atlanta too. Yeah, that's true. And so you have Harper, who's his sister. Puddin's Pootie's grandma is hilarious, and her name is Puddin.
Pootie and Puddin.
Pootie and Puddin. You have
that sounds like a TV show from the 80s.
You have Nick, who's a high functioning autistic himself, who's his BFF, and he's I think he's on the spectrum, but he is definitely somebody, I think he can even drive and stuff like that. So, but he is hilarious. He puts on a show when he comes in. I'll just say that.
I love it.
And so the first episode is really just about, them getting a pool and having that in the backyard. You have episodes of them throwing him a birthday party, but then because of the fact that you don't want to do anything too startling or, whatever. So it just shows a real life family and community, like I said, in a tribe, basically, that's all here to support Geege in supporting Pootie. And it's a reality show of their actual lives and everything that they do.
Oh, this is real?
It's a reality show.
Oh, I wasn't expecting it to be a reality show. I thought it was like a regular TV show.
No, it's not a TV show. It's a reality show about
I didn't
Pootie
catch that.
and Geege. Yeah, I might not have said that. Sorry, it's on Lifetime. And so anyway, I just wanted to take a moment to talk about that because it's a cute little show. It basically just walks the kids through how to be a sibling to autistic. So if you're somebody who has autism in your family, you can go ahead and have people watch that. But also, if you're a caregiver, then it gives you a way of maybe even picking up other tools and techniques.
Exactly, and it's going to be something that's educational.
Exactly.
That's fun.
So that's it. Leave it to Geege, and Geege is Geege. It's a cute little show on Lifetime. So that's it for this week's Sestra-Tainment. Everybody have a wonderful week, and we'll do it all again next time.
All right.
Bye.